down, my ears picked up, and I was afraid, I was waiting to hear it come running across for me. And what I did hear was slight movement like crinkling of leaves and brush moving, and then when I got to my car and I put my key in the lock, I'm looking up over my car and it's gone. So I realized, I guess, that I saw it and it stepped back. And so for a few years I didn't talk to anybody about it. For one thing, the native people, I figured, would just laugh at me. I knew they believe in it, but for a non-native person to be telling a tale, wasn't too sure it'd be very well received. And the people in town off of the reservation, I figured, would laugh at me. I was already a paranormal investigator at that time for spirits, and I was already used to having people make comments about me. And so I never even considered Sasquatch. And like I say, I kind of probably, before that instance, probably kind of laughed about people that believe in Sasquatch too. So that sighting definitely turned me into a believer. But since then, I'm happy to say I'm still out on the reservation, and been out there 12, 13 years, I'm not sure how long. And I get a lot of reports. You know, I've gained the trust of a lot of the local natives there, and they know I'm a paranormal investigator, and now I've let it out about my experience and about my interest. And so I get a lot of reports, you know, around the res. I kind of know where they are. And I don't try to get too close to stress them. I'm in the helping profession, so I try not to stress. And so I stay at my distances. I have another researcher here with me today that's also been out with me in the field, and I don't try to get too close. We keep our distance. We just try to listen for soundings and knockings and that sort of thing. And I think there's maybe 3 or 4 families is what I consider. You know, we're out here on the water. We know there's whale pods. I kind of call these family pods, is what I call it. Sort of like what we do when we talk about the whales. And I look at them as being more human than creature. But that's just me. And I'm coming here to this conference to learn a lot more and to hear a lot of your opinions, what your take is on it, because, you know, most everybody in this room has probably been researching them longer than I have. And but we have probably 3 or 4 families there that we're aware of, and I know at least 2 of the families know who I am, because I've been out there and I make my presence there. And where I work, they were watching me. I have no doubt about it. They've been watching me, and I know they know who I am. They know my vehicles and that sort of thing. So I'm not afraid of those ones there anymore. But there's a couple other areas where I don't get to very much that I know those families don't know me. But I know another researcher who was just in search of Bigfoot last week. I don't know if any of you watched it. Anybody see that this last week? There was some people, Native Americans, being interviewed up on the Lummi Reservation. He's a researcher that I piggybacked with. He taught me a lot out there, how to look up in the trees for him and that sort of thing. And those other families know him really well. They know his vehicle. So when his vehicle would come around, he never does anything to stress them out again. He never infringes too much on their territory, always watches from a distance, and he's had a lot more interaction with them than I have. You know, I've heard the soundings. I know I'm being watched. I know they're there. We actually pick up Little Caesar's pizzas, and I've tried leaving them out there, because I figured they could smell the cheese. I mean, it smells yummy, why not? You know, and we leave salmon out. I just was out there 2 weeks ago, and I left a big dog salmon out for them. And we go to the food bank, we pick up fruit and stuff like that and leave that out there for them. So anything that we think that, somebody told me up there that they love watermelon. So we've even, in the seasons where the watermelon's kind of cheap, I pick up watermelon, leave that out there. So anyhow, I don't know what else I can tell you. I do know that we have the Nooksack River that goes through there, and the fishermen have tons and tons of experiences and stories with them. And the ones, they talk about some of them that migrate down from the mountains during the winter and they go back up in the summer, the spring, that sort of thing. But there is, we believe, and I'm saying we, I mean the natives and me, believe that there are family ponds that do stay there year-round, and that they are very aware of who's on that res and everything else. And the people on the reservation are very respectful to them. They see them as a spiritual being, and they don't want me bothering them, and they know that the ones that talk to me about it know that I'll keep my distance. I'm not there to disturb them or stress them out anymore. And that's why they give me reports. But then there's a lot of people out there too, you know, I'm sure a good handful or two that don't want me doing anything, and they really resent me being there. So anyway, that's what I got to tell you about Lummi Reservation.